Hello, this is Helmut Flasch, and today I'm going to talk to you how to position yourself as an expert, how to be perceived as an expert far and above the rest of your competition, and we're going to do it with a book. Oh yes, don't worry about right now how you write one, that you can't write one, and all those type of things. Or maybe you even have one and wrote one and it got you nowhere. There was probably many steps missing which are called marketing, and we're going to all fill them in. But first, let me just talk about what books can and will be doing for me. This, by the way, is my first book, just came out. I have been knowing about the power of book for a long time, and so have you. After all, in medical school or in any professional school, more or less, we went to in universities, colleges, they told us, or the professors there, we knew that it was publish or perish. That's a professor's slogan. He has to publish a book or he perishes, because he simply is nobody if he doesn't have a book. Even though only his students read it usually. That's all right. He has a book. Now, why books? Why are books so important? Well, I don't know. Books are believed. People believe books. Just look at the Bible. It's written in the Bible, so it must be true. I'm not disputing the fact, and I'm not agreeing to it, but this is what it is. And there are many lawsuits and everything. Everything is referred to a book. It's written somewhere. Somebody wrote a book on it. And once the guy has written a book, nobody really checks it out anymore, whether the guy was a jerk or a real expert. Absolutely, and that is how it goes. So, why did I'm 15 years or more than that, in the consulting business, and I have 15 years before that traveled the world in the hotel business as a waiter, as a chef, and as a food and beverage director in large, very large, and very small, and very first class and not so first class hotels and restaurants. And I've heard about this book thing a long time. Some of my gurus whom I follow very closely have written obviously many books. That's how I learned from them. I never met some of my gurus. And why did I not write one? I don't know. Don't ask me. I make lots of mistakes in life myself. But here is, all of a sudden, for some reason, I said, all right, let's look into this book thing. And here's one of the story why this happened. This is an important story, and you got to listen to it. I was in New York at a publishing summit. There was 100 publishers or reporters, anchor people, producers, news reporters from all different establishments. Writing for business, like Business Week, Oprah, she wasn't there, but one of her producers, by the way, Oprah has about 100 producers or whatever. Health magazines and medias and radios and TVs stations were there. And I was on awful lots of people who publish books there. And I had my book in writing already, not done, not finished. And there I was to try to get media for the book. That's what this was all about, meet the media. And there I was, and I talked to this one person about a health, she was a health magazine writer, a rather famous one across the country. And I told her about a philosophy I have, an observation I made, that people who wake up tired and exhausted simply because they, to a certain degree, don't have the right food, the right vitamins, whatever it may be, they're like tired all the time, that they also do not think very well in terms of business. They don't think in future. They don't imagine new, beautiful thing. And they don't even imagine not just new business ideas. They don't imagine that, but they also don't imagine the everyday overcoming of problems. I told her, and I said, I want to write an article about it. I want to be in the news, in the media for that, I said. And she said, are you a doctor? And I said, no, I'm not. She says, is what you said, this is very interesting, she says, is what you said backed up by a doctor? And I said, no. It's just my observation, cruising around the world and having had up to 1,000 people working for me in one place, and being just, that's all. You know, having a company, being a consultant for 15 years and seeing it with some of my clients, they're just too exhausted to actually have life in them. She says, oh, well, then I can't write about it. If you're not a doctor and it's not backed up by doctors, then I can't write about it. I said, all right. We talked another minute or two about God only knows what, somewhere in that line. And I said, sorry that you don't write about it, but you know, I have it in my book already. And she said, you mean you have it in your book? You mean you have a book? I said, yeah, well, I don't have one now, but it will be coming out soon. And she says, and you write about what you just told me in your book? I said, yeah. Oh, she says, as soon as your book is out, let me know and we will run the story. I said, ma'am, nothing changed. I'm not a doctor and it's not backed up by doctors. She says, it doesn't matter. You have a book, that's a different story. Wow. Wow. I immediately went out of this room, went to the next, it was in New York, by the way, and I went to the next espresso place and had myself an espresso, and I just celebrated in the afternoon because I knew I have something here. I knew that every one of my clients got to become a book author and that I better become one. And I already knew how to do that. I already have learned and knew that how to become a bestseller. I realized how much I missed out in the last 15 years, especially while being a consultant, not telling my clients and myself not doing it. But that's okay. Better late than never. And now we're here. And ladies and gentlemen, books are believed. If you want to create a legacy for your children, grandchildren, if you want to create a legacy for your grandchildren, that they said, Grandpa wrote a book. Grandma wrote a book. She was a bestseller. If you want to do that, if you want to fill your restaurant or your practice or any business for that much with customers because they know you, if you want the whole community talking about you, and if you want to be perceived as an expert because the media talks about you all the time, the book is the answer. Just go on Charlie Rose show, go on Travis Smiley show and many other shows. All the people on there are authors. Sure, they may be otherwise famous too sometimes. Funny, why? Is it the chicken or the egg? Doesn't really matter. Let me tell you something, it's both, but either way. Some famous people write books and they right away sell millions. And some not so famous people write books and they become millionaires. And here's the most important thing. We're not writing the book and becoming a bestseller, which I guarantee you will. Doesn't matter what the book is all about. I guarantee you will. We're not doing that for you to make lots of money with the book. No, no, no. We are making you writing a book or do it for you. We're making it a bestseller for you so that your business, your restaurant, your practice, your whatever, your carpenter shop, your mechanic shop gets a lot of business coming in. Your book is a brochure. There is no better working brochure than a book. There just simply isn't. And in the following videos, you will see a little bit detail how we break that apart and how that will work, how it can be done, and what else it can do, because you haven't seen the last yet. There's a lots what this book can do. It is so cumbersome that it is unbelievable, and that's why it is so powerful. It is the tools of all the tools, all right? So go ahead and see you in the next videos. Bye.